What is up, guys? It's the Cricket Weekly podcast on the Reverse Scoop with Nabil Khan. What's going on, Nabil?
Yo, what's going on, everyone? How you doing, Adam? Another week, man.
We're back.
Another week. We got some big updates, some big news. So excited for tonight, man. Excited. We got a lot to cover.
We got lots going on. A lot is going on. What's all happening?
Absolutely.
So where are we going to start? Where are we going to start this cracking podcast off here? Where are we going to start it off?
Well, I mean, I think we got to start at the MLC, man, because MLC is making bold moves, to grow cricket in North America. Expanding from 6 teams to 8 teams by 2027. And I think it's not just about adding teams, right? It's about growing that market size that we've always talked about, for Major League Cricket. So, I'm really excited, man, because it's going to enhance the opportunity for everyone. And, Canada, it seems like they also want to explore, some cities that they have, narrowed down as options. I'm going to name them out. Chicago, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Toronto. So which 2 cities will be the next Major League Cricket cities? That's the question I'm going to put up here for the viewers.
You think about it, Toronto isn't that far from the border, right? Toronto is kind of close to the border. So, and Canada obviously has a very strong cricket nation. They play in the sub league, the League 2 with the USA, Netherlands, all those guys. So, good competition to have them there. And I think obviously it's not that far to travel. Travel isn't an issue. So yeah, going into extra teams here, probably, what do you say? Philly, Chicago, Toronto, and what was the other one? Montreal, I think you mentioned.
Atlanta.
Atlanta. So, yeah, we have the hubs. Where are our hubs now? Our hubs are Texas. Our hubs are North Carolina. Seattle's, they're putting in a stadium. San Francisco's just put in a stadium. And you have to consider, obviously, we have the Olympics coming. So that's, a big thing. I know they're probably having most of that happen down in Texas and San Francisco, I believe. That's where that's going to take place. Actually, probably more San Francisco. But yeah, no, this is great for the game. I think one of the big things with all the leagues popping up everywhere, a lot of people say, oh, too many leagues, oh, too much spread out, this and that, but I think America is a hotspot. I think a lot of cricketers like the idea of coming to America just because it's America. You know what I mean? It's something, it's something different. It's, maybe get to do a little bit of sightseeing, especially if you're a cricketer. You're never really coming to America. You know what I mean? You're everywhere else but America.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for cricket.
Absolutely, man. It's the land of the free. We got to be here and you can do whatever the hell you want here, man.
You
dream big. You come here and you can do whatever you want. That's why, we're so different. This is, a big news that, by 2027, actually, before the Olympics, they're going to be expanding to 8 teams. And, let us know in the comments, all the viewers, what do you guys think? Which 2 cities would probably be, the best? And, looking at it, of the reasons why MLC has shortlisted these cities, right? It's because of the passionate living communities, especially amongst South Asian communities, right? Is, they're big hubs here in these places. So I think it's a good way to grow, obviously, in the back of what we've already done, the good work. And, wherever you see big hubs of, just a lot of people playing cricket, you go and capitalize on it. So I think Toronto getting into Canada is a big thing. So I definitely think having a team up there expands the market of Major League Cricket, sort of like MLB. And, they have a Toronto Blue Jays as well, right? That plays in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's a good way to get into Canada, and have a team and potentially, Philly. I mean, it could be an option, and you have obviously Chicago and Atlanta, and both are cricket heavy, cities. So either one of those 2 would be great, man. And
so if we're going to go where you have Atlanta, Philly, Chicago, Toronto. Now let's just make up on the spot. What do you have? What could possible names be for these expansions? What are the expansion
possible.
names here? So we got the Philadelphia Eagles of the football team, right? They have the Eagles.
Yep. That's my Eagles too, man.
They got the Steelers. Good win. Big win for the Big win for the Eagles. Shout out
Eagles,
to the NFL.
yeah.
Shout out to the Eagles.
Shout out to the Eagles.
Shout out to the Eagles. So we got that happening over there. Is anything else Philly's known for? What else could they be over there?
Philly cheesesteaks, man.
Philly cheesesteaks. The cheesesteaks.
They're known for their cheesesteaks.
Unicorns versus the cheesesteaks.
I like it. The Philadelphia cheesesteaks. Let us know what you guys think of that name. For this 7th or 8th major league team.
What do we got?
We wish we can get.
Atlanta have what teams do they have? Baseball. They have the Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves. Yeah.
Okay, they got the Braves. So are they gonna do something like that? Could they do something like that for their team? But you got to have it. You got to keep it. They got to go something like Washington got rid of their whole name. They just went. What are they called now? Washington Commanders. They're not even
Commanders.
They're not even the original name. Toronto. They could go with the Maple Leaf. What are they gonna go? The Zambonis. The Toronto Zambonis.
Yeah, exactly.
That's ice hockey. They go in Chicago. Chicago. What's Chicago known for? Deep dish pizza. The Chicago deep dish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chicago deep dish. Imagine the
logos. The logos.
Yeah.
That's classic. That's gonna be.
You can have the hats, the deep dish hats.
Deep dish hats. Oh, they can be the deep
Imagine
dish
those.
hats. Yes. Oh, that's classic. MLC's better pay us some commission for these ideas right here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I think it's a great initiative by the MLC, obviously, to grow, into a big league. And I think by even 2030, we see 10 or 12 teams, even more, who knows, depending on how the investments, come in.
Yeah.
But infrastructural challenges, of this growth, because obviously I think last week we discussed, MLC was going to mandate, these franchises to have their own fields, their own facilities to be able to, play these games in multiple conditions, rather it be in Seattle or in California or in New York, across the states. So, how do you see that panning out, man? Like, do you think these franchises will take that on? NBC feels pop up like this year or next year?
Yeah, so I do know that every team has made a commitment to build their own stadium, and I think that's really awesome of them. They have their big backing. Obviously, some of the teams are linked to the IPL teams, but having those stadiums, the big thing that needs to happen is not only do they need to build stadiums, but they need to build training facilities inside and around the stadiums. Like that's one of the big things about, like in Sydney, when you go to the SCG, they have the SCG obviously, but they have a full training academy outside, just off the grounds, and then they have all the nets. They have indoor nets, they have the outdoor nets, they have their own grounds crew that's running, doing all of that stuff, plus the on-field stuff. That's kind of like the hub for like New South Wales cricket, and then as all of those big stadiums have their own hubs for training, in them. So that's going to be the big thing is creating those hubs, creating those teams, creating the sub teams. I think that's the other thing too, is creating like the subset teams along with it. Like these MLC teams should have their own like minor league side that plays in minor league. I know we have the whole minor league situation, but that they should have their own like basically second 11. I'd like to see like a second 11 MLC squad that plays inside of the minor league. I don't know if the seasons line up perfectly for that, but even if it was, I think the minor league plays after the major league. Even still, I would like to have it like a second 11. So like if you're like that second 11 squad should be almost 100% American citizen people, and then those second 11 are fighting for the spot to be in the 5 or 6 spots in the big side and then the A side. And if someone's injured, they can pull from that squad. Those people are always playing cricket. They're not just missing out. That's going to be the other thing, though. If you've got 10 USA guys in the squad, only 6 are going to play. 4 are sitting on the sideline doing nothing. You'd want to have them playing cricket. So, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, the system, obviously the structure is
starting to take shape a little bit. Oh, there's Sophie. Hey, Sophie.
Sophie, we got a special guest on the podcast today. Sophie's here.
Say hi to all the viewers, Sophie.
Say hi to everybody. Say, do you love cricket, Soph?
Who's a special guy? I can't see him on the screen.
Neil's right there. He's on the screen.
Wait.
I'm right here,
there,
Sophie.
right
you can
there.
hear me though.
Yeah.
We got a special guest. You know, Adam's
talking
daughter,
cricket.
Sophie.
Big cricket. Talking
Sophie,
MLC
do you love
American
cricket?
You love cricket, Soph?
No.
No. We're here to hear first, guys.
Aww. Aww.
Okay, you good?
Are you almost done?
Yeah, we'll be done in a sec, kid.
Wait.
Say something. Say something to the world. Tell them what you want
Sophie,
to
we
hear.
just started.
Look at my nose.
Huh?
Look at my nose.
Look at your nose. Oh, it's black now right here. There you go.
It stands still.
Yeah. Look at that. Wow. Right here. You're going to be the next host of the show, Sophie?
Absolutely,
Okay.
she will.
Oh, man, kids. Classic.
Absolutely. That was wonderful.
There you go, guys. Special guest right there. Special guest. Cost
Absolutely,
big money to
man.
get her on the show.
Yeah.
We have to fly her in.
I know. So back
yeah,
to Major League Cricket, man.
Major League Cricket. Here we go.
What were you saying? Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say she's actually pretty good. I don't know if you've seen any videos, but she's actually pretty good at cricket.
I saw some of your Instagram stories where you were playing with the snow.
Yeah,
that was cool. You guys were having a good time.
Future USA captain right here. We'll get to that. We'll get to the USA women's squad in a minute. But yeah, future captain right here.
They're actually playing tonight, 9:30. So
sweet.
we're gonna so right after this pod is done, their match is gonna start, and we'll be up following them, and let us know about their first performance too. We're gonna come back to it, but against Ireland, that was pretty epic, man, by the USA U19 Women's.
Yeah, we can switch over to that. Yeah, man, what a performance. I watched it. I mean, a couple of things about this. Number one, they're streaming it on Amazon Prime, which is straight up. I don't know if they were streaming it from the get-go. I feel like it wasn't, but maybe it was. I feel like out of nowhere, they're like, oh, by the way, we're streaming on Amazon Prime. And I'm like, well, this is next level. Because the first couple of games, the Twitter was just like, oh, here's the Crick Club's link. And I was like, okay. So Amazon Prime, I get to watch it on Amazon Prime. The USA bowlers are insane, like insane. Like the spin, the drift, the flight, these girls are getting, all of them, like Ritu Singh. I forget everyone, but it was like the way they're releasing these balls. Yeah, if you like literally the balls. It's hard to describe. Like I don't know if it's a guy's thing, a girl's thing, the way they're teaching them how to throw the ball up there, but the balls are obviously coming slower. Okay, that's an obvious thing, but the way they're releasing the ball and how much flight they're getting, and then the balls like drop, like they drop right at the feet. So even though they're kind of like in the slot, they're coming from a higher trajectory from the way they release the ball, and it's like I think it's phenomenal. And every ball's on the spot. Like I watched almost the whole thing. Every ball's on the spot. They like tied up Ireland. Ireland couldn't get away. Ireland hit. There was 2 or 3 wickets where they hit their own stumps. They actually went to play reverse sweeps and reverse like ramps, and 2 of them girls actually hit the ball onto their stumps, which was nuts. But then went at the bat and just bang, Disha Dingra just goes over extra cover for 6. Just bang. Yeah.
No, this is a solid team, man. The performance is, that they're churning up, their top level performances. And, I've said it before, we've been more mature than the women's level because the group is smaller, it's concise. So, they're more together. They've trained also a lot more together. And that group has trained the newer generation of women as well, because they've done a lot of grassroots work. Sindhu Sri Harsha, I'm gonna give a shout out to. There's another organization, Aspire Cricket, run by another lady, Andrea, I believe, right? Shout out to them because they've done a lot of work at the grassroots to expand the women's game, and then they've helped train these girls as well. So that's really good to see that our future is bright on the women's side, and I think we can compete at top level, man. These girls start to continue to, develop their game and mature up, and we'll be, one of those top teams on the women's side of the game in cricket, I think, along with England and Australia. I don't see why not we can't compete. India as well,
Yeah, well, I feel like there's inside of this World Cup, there's a big gap. I feel like there's a big gap in quality. Obviously, like some of the teams are barely getting over 50 runs, getting bowled out for like 30-ish runs. India just took over, I forget, it was Samoa today or something, or Nigeria, but Nigeria like beat Scotland or something. They had a weird win, phenomenal win. They were super excited. But there's certainly tiers to this. And the big thing we can see is that America, USA, is up in that top tier of players, up in that top tier of performances. It's probably, you could say, Australia, Sri Lanka, England, USA. Like they're like the big kind of four right now up there. Because New Zealand got rolled twice. Nigeria rolled New Zealand. That's what it was.
Nigeria, that's crazy, dude. I saw that.
Yeah. So
that's why I love the women's game, man. It's so unpredictable.
Yeah, and I'm saying like in the women's game particularly, it's going to be on the bowling. Like you have to be able to bowl really well. And then if you switch to like where these girls are going to end up, they're going to end up playing against the open women's. And you look at look at Australia versus England right now doing the Ashes in Australia. Australia is just like cleaning the floor, like wiping over England, like just absolutely smashing it everywhere, dominating. They haven't lost the game, and they're kind of pulling ahead in the women's game. I don't know if it was just their traveling schedule or they're out of form, but obviously Australia's played very well. But these women that are playing under 19s, they're going to be moving up into the opens, and they're going to go up against like the big dog essentially in the women's game. So the key thing I think for the women's game is obviously our bowling is fabulous, and then it's just like making sure like we have the big hitters and we're scoring the runs and able to press, because that was one of the things that seemed the difference in the games, that like once the women were getting tied down from Ireland, they didn't know what to do, so they're swinging at everything, and all of a sudden they're just getting out. So I think when you go into
it's going to be a combination of, some of these girls obviously getting to that international, level. I mean, right now they're at the under 19 level, and they're going to have to continue to improve their skills, right? And, some of them will get to, that women's, team for the USA, and some may not, but it's obviously going to depend on the ability to put in work and how much development in their game, comes in over the next couple of years. And if these players are able to, get to that next stage, then I think the, future is going to be awesome, man, for, this particular set of group, because, I think they have a lot to offer. And looking at the, the talent gap in a lot of the teams, you look at, Malaysia and, the Australia, for example, or India, for example, there's big gaps there, right? I think USA is not far off from, one of those top teams, as long as we can continue to develop the youth and the under 19 setup, because that's what's going to feed to the top level, right, as you said. So for us, as long as this system stays strong, we can continue to get more girls into the system, develop them, and churn them up for the national side. That's the ultimate goal, and then you can pick the best of the lot, to go out there and perform for the country. So that
looks bright. I mean, at this point, they basically will roll into the Super Sixes. They're going to make to the next level. They have the next game tonight against England. A win puts them like top of the pool, which would be fantabulous. Wow, that's I did a lot of words there.
I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Fantabulous right there. A loss will still get them in because they have to just be three and up. So, so basically anything that happens tonight, they'll still make it through. I do hope they kind of put it to England and get out the win over them. Go top of the comp.
I think so too. I think they're going to give them a tough time, man. I'm looking forward to that game, and that Pakistan, rain out too. It was kind of like a disguise, like a blessing in disguise for them. So they got that, and they got a win after it. So it looks like an easier path for them now, getting to that top 8. So good luck to the women's team. For under 19s, they're doing super well. Make us proud, and get
So
to
we had
that
a
top 8. And
question coming in here. Want to know about the Big Bash? Big Bash thoughts on the Big Bash last night. There was the qualifier in the Big Bash, the Sixers taking on Hobart Hurricanes, and Hobart Hurricanes went ahead and take down the Sixers. So a little stint from Steve Smith in the regular games, not there in the qualifier, may have hurt the Sixers right there. They had a collapse. There was like Duck 1-1 or something right there at the top of the order. Yeah, Hurricanes go through, Sixers are out. So that is very interesting there. You would have given the Sixers would have won, I think, if they had Smith there. But no, he was seen for that 1 or 2 games I think he played, and then he's gone. So yeah, Hurricanes
injury.
through.
Yeah, I think he got injured. So,
and then out of nowhere, I mean, the Stars, the first couple of games, the Stars were like couldn't buy a win. They couldn't fall into and trip into a win. But they Stars, I think, are up there now with the Stars and the Thunder. I think now are going to be it. I think that's the other next. Is that the next match? That could be the next match.
The Stars. The next match is, I'll tell you, Stars. Let me see.
Did Thunder make it? I thought the Thunder and the Stars. It could be.
Yeah, I think it is the Thunder and the Stars in Sydney.
I think that's what's the next game. So I know Stornis is playing out of his skin. I know I normally give him a bad rap in the 2020 format for not performing, but he has played very well, scored lots of runs, a couple of huge hits over there. So yeah, that's coming to a head, and it's a good changing of the guard for Australia. The Scorchers, I believe, have won 5 or 6 comps. They've won. The Scorchers have been dominating over there.
Yeah.
You know, they won the original one. They just win all the time, but they've basically they had something going on there where they had to basically cap 10 players, declare the 10 players they want to keep, and release everyone else. So like Ty is released, Mitch Marsh is released. They're all free agents now to go anywhere else they want. So I don't know. Mitch Marsh didn't play any games for them. I don't think. Maybe played 1 or 2 at the end. But yeah. So no, interesting for them. It's going to be a turnaround for them because they normally have been the standard in the Big Bash.
Yeah, man. I mean, Hurricane Hobart is the biggest news there. In 7 years they're making their first playoff appearance. So
yeah, kind of been under the radar. Yeah, they kind of slipped on under the radar.
I'm rooting for them, man. Always the underdog story. Always love it, So
yeah,
hoping for the Hobart win. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't know if Bo Webster probably would have been playing for them, but he's going to be going over to Sri Lanka. We had the Sri Lanka tour of Australian tour of Sri Lanka. They've named a big squad. McSweeney's back in the squad. They're bringing over Constas. They got 2 spinners. They got Murphy coming over with Lyon. Kawaj is going to be there. Smith is you said Smith is being declared back in. I know he had an ankle or a shoulder. No, a shoulder for him. An ankle is for Pat Cummins. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about this? These mini series that don't mean anything. What do you think about those? And let me know in the chat too, guys. What do you think about mini series that mean nothing?
I mean, you mean like Pakistan, West Indies Test series that's happening right now?
Sure.
That has no purpose. Or
yeah.
Sure. The Test championship is decided. I mean, I think every the system itself is broken right now. The world Test championship system, for example, ICC needs to take under account how to actually make it a fair system across the board. You can't have one team play 30 games and one team play 5 games and then take a percentage of it. I just think the boards with more money will obviously set up more matches and can get ahead. So it needs to be more of a competition based. You rather make it a league where everybody plays just one test against each nation, and the top whoever's the top 8, you make them play like a quarterfinal, semifinal, and a final, kind of like a league system. But you got to make it a fair system, right? Even if it's just one test match against the top 10 test playing nations in the world. And the other countries that land outside top 10, you let them build up within that. You got to get to that top 10, and the other teams may also slip. So the ranking system also needs to be a fair ranking system, correct? Because right now you're not really sure how ICC is getting through those, rankings and whatnot. So, so that's an example of that type of a situation, right? But there's so many things, within cricket that we can improve when it comes to like actually putting things in place, that will grow the game in the right direction. But yeah, I mean, like I like what MLC is doing, as we said, back to like tonight's topic of MLC. I'm looking at their website and it's still not updated. I'm still seeing 2024
Oh yeah, no, they're
stuff on there. So
like I
shout out,
said,
yeah, so letting Major League Cricket know that hey, we are in 2025. It's probably a good time to start doing
MLC
some work.
and Cricket USA don't have website people that work on the website. But in saying that, in the same breath, Cricket USA has just turned up the gas, turned up the heat on posting on social. They are they're covering every second of these women's lives for this under 19s thing. They got them talking on the bus. They got them talking at the photo shoots. They got them talking on the field. They got the interviews. They're posting the clips. It's very good. It's much better than what it was last year.
I think they heeded our advice, man. Like
they've been listening for sure. Yeah. They cranked it up. And I went ahead and followed all them. They're all doing good. But I do think, though, it is very obvious, very clear. There is a bubble that is wrapped around these girls, and they are putting out what they want to put out.
Yeah,
which is good. Yeah. But like, there's a clear bubble around them. Like, they're doing their thing. They're posting their thing. I'm sure they've been told just post, repost our stuff. Don't do anything else. Like, but it is what it is. They're 19. You don't want to they're talking to everyone.
I like it. I like it because they're putting their personalities out there, right? So like they have some type of a process that's in play, and that can always be improved. It may not be exactly, that goes off the chains, right? But it's something to keep everybody engaged, and the continuity of that entire process. Even they're going to learn how to make better content. The players themselves, they'll understand, hey, this is what I got to do to put my personality out. So I think they're doing those pieces, which is a commendable job on. I don't know who to actually give the credit to actually the women's game who actually manage them, or the actual USA Cricket admins, but whoever deserves credit, they should get it. Yeah, they're doing a good job, so keep that up and keep the content, trucking. So back to this MLC, man. I want to get a point from our viewers on this. Which two cities do they think? So drop your answers into the comments. Which two cities, guys? Because I want to get an idea. I think Adam and I have discussed, Toronto getting into Canada is good, and then perhaps a Chicago or Atlanta. So
I want to know, like, where is the New York team? Why is that not on the list? Like, I feel like I know we got gypped with the the World Cup. They built the stadium. They had something in New York. We have the league in New York, the minor league in New York that plays. You would think they'd be investing in New York and New England, considering we have the crossover from Connecticut, New England. There's a lot of cricketers here. You got the people up in Albany. You'd think that would make a hub in New York. You would think.
You would think so, man. I mean, you look at NFL, you look at NBA, you look at, MLB. There's multiple teams in this region, right? Yeah. And I think we kind of got gypped with, the Mumbai Indians, New York kind of deal, because I feel like, I need a team that it's going to represent what New York is, for example, right? And just having that Mumbai Indians, New York kind of pushes me away for, just me being a cricket fan. So I'm more of, I don't have an actual team in MLC. I like the Seattle Orcas. I like the way they're built. I like their structure. I like their system, right? So might as well, I think it's, explore that there's room for more players, I feel like, within the Northeast region. So even just having a team in Toronto and popping another team in New York, kind of like the Mets or the Yankees, for example, right, to rival, within the city, it's going to add, it's going to be good for business, I think, in my opinion. Because it's going to create competition, which is, again, going to lead to good business. So maybe come here again for another team.
Yeah, so I mean, I know that they have, like, everyone's kind of said they are going to build a stadium. So hopefully the New York team does put a stadium together and training facilities and link in. They can, like I said, we mentioned before, having this tier system where clubs can kind of feed up into the major league, and that they, have a place for people to go train or have an academy or something. So that would be good for cricket over this area of the world. Yeah. But I'm excited to see like how they go with the franchises and how they go for recruiting this year. You know, I know we got a lot of good names that came and played in the MLC. It does rival, though, the 100. So I know that the English Cricket Board put out something saying like they can't go play anywhere else because it basically plays the same time as 100. So we didn't have any English players. We have Liam Plunkett came, but he's technically now a U.S. citizen. So he basically plays over here as a U.S. player. Yeah. And, you know, I know a lot of some Australians, they split. Some of them went to England. Some of them played in the major league, and obviously a lot of them played the major league. We have the whole the Washington Freedom, as someone in the chat earlier was talking about how the Washington Freedom is just legit. You know, punting at this as coach, you got Smith, Head, you know, there with Andreas Gauss, you know, Maxwell, that's a great team right there. And then you had, you know, Pat Cummins playing for San Francisco.
Yeah. I like San Francisco too.
Yeah, no, I think they did a really good marketing ploy having the unicorn thing. I think that really took off. The orange color was good. Yeah. Everyone getting those unicorn bucket hats. You know, that area, that Silicon Valley area, you know,
it aligned with, you know, the community there, you know, and I think that was a big, you know, nail on the head for them because, you know, that's why they're able to have a successful system and an audience that's growing and a fan base that's growing because, you know, they stay true to their values of that community. You know, and I think that's what, I don't know, that New York team again is, you know, I think it's going to have a hard time, in my opinion, having like really loyal fan base, you know, here in New York, because it's such a vast, you know, group and a diverse group of players. You know, so I think New York probably needs another major league team and they should maybe add it to the list. But, you know, having Fields is the next way, you know, getting Fields in and building it up where, you know, the clubs feed into the minor league and minor leagues into the major league and major league feeds into the US cricket would be an ideal world scenario. But, you know, that's hard to kind of see it happening in the foreseeable future, but we're moving the chains in the right direction slowly but surely, right?
Yeah, well, the commitment to get these extra teams in for 2028, 2027, you said, that brings us into the Olympics. So, you know, I think, where are we? We're 25 right now. We've got 2 more years of infrastructure to build to get it set up for 28. I think it's going to be awesome. Like, I just can't wait for the Olympics. Olympics is going to be amazing. And all this is going to like help push that drive, have cricket at the Olympics. Americans are going to get involved in cricket more and more every year, reaching up to the Olympics. And, you know, like it's going to be one of those things. I just can't wait to like have opening game against some big nation, knock them off in the first game, having them like, you know, Pakistan USA moment, you know. I think that's going to be exciting. So
I think a lot of those games are to come, man, you know, because we're always going to be playing as an underdog team. And if we punch above the weight, we can be, you know, any team. And having this major league, you know, growth, I hope you know, the talent here gets the limelight and those guys are able to, you know, play alongside international players, raise their games, and then get to the USA setup. You know, again, would be the ideal world scenarios. But again, raising the number of teams, right, also means that the tournament's going to be longer, right? So, which means in such a packed calendar year of cricket that we already have, right? T20, ODI, Test cricket, and then all the different leagues, right? PSL, BBL, IPL, MLC. You know, how do you fit like a longer tournament within that date, right?
Yeah. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. No, potentially this season may not extend because right now they play everyone 2.5 times. So they play 2 teams twice, I believe, and they play some teams 3 times. So technically, if they add in 2 more teams, it may just be a situation where everyone plays everyone twice instead of having those extra games be a third game against someone else. So it may not be as long. And obviously, you have to consider. For last year, they had North Carolina and Texas, and North Carolina was open for the first, I think, like 2 weeks of the tournament, and then they moved everything to Texas. So there may be a scenario where they You know, I mean, I don't want to see these guys fly around too much. Like they should basically have, 3 teams go here, 3 teams go here, play your round robin, and then switch. You know what I mean? Like I think that should be kind of like a better way to travel everybody. So yeah, then if there's the extra team and they have once they open up more stadiums, then yeah, again, you maybe have 3 teams go to 3-3-3 or something, or 2-3-2 or whatever, and then you play a little round robin, play each other, and then you switch.
It's got to be a home and away model, kind of like the IPL, right? I mean, that's what I think they kind of go with. Like they have a home and away setup, and then they play through the league setup the way it is. And we got a comment from Imran Hussein. He says we might see Washington Freedom get their stadium this year.
That'd be sweet.
He made another comment here. We need to have a Toronto team in Major League Cricket because cricket in Canada is growing rapidly. So yeah, absolutely, man. Cricket's been huge in Canada, for a while, and it's just the system over there as well. Similar kind of things that used to happen, but I think USA Cricket's taken a big step forward, with what they're doing. So props to them.
I had another idea for Canada. Maybe they could be the mooses or the elk. They could be like a big, they got moose up there, right? Big moose in Canada.
I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays, they might piggyback off of that or something, Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like, how does that work? How does that work with franchises? Like, I don't know if they're going to be able to copy from the NFL or NHL franchises or Major League, but it's a MLB. I don't think they could do that. Like, I don't know. I think if you were to think of a Canadian animal, what's the moose is up there, right? Moose, elk.
Yeah, moose, but
the mooses. They got the unicorns.
Or it may just be the leaf that's on the Canadian flag. Who knows?
The Leafs.
Yeah.
But isn't the Maple Leafs something else? Isn't that already a basketball team? Or it's not?
I don't think so.
Toronto Raptors. I'm thinking of the Raptors.
Yeah, the Raptors are the basketball team. Yeah.
Or did they just say the Maple Leafs is for any Canada team? Like, the Maple Leafs. I feel like the Maple Leafs are a franchise. I gotta look this up. I'm gonna see if
they have to be.
Franchise.
Now you got to find out, man.
Yeah.
Now let's get over to Champions Trophy.
There's a couple questions in here. Yeah, about Champions
about,
Trophy.
Yeah, so Pakistan's the only team not to release the Champions Trophy squad at this time. That's what he commented.
There's another one here saying thoughts on India not putting Pakistan on their Champions Trophy jersey. I haven't heard about this.
Let's stay away from that. Let's.
Oh man, it's the best rivalry. Man, I mean,
there was always going to be this chit chat, banter before this, Champions Trophy India Pakistan game, and they're going to build it up, and these types of things is just tactics to build engagement for the game. So we're gonna let them do that, and
I love it. Like
these guys playing their games in UAE anyways in Dubai, so that's
So on this, while we're talking about Pakistan, India, what are your thoughts on having all these tournaments always have these two play, like building the tournaments around these two teams? Like, are you for building it? Is it unfair? Should they not have it? What's your thoughts on this?
It's business at the end of the day, man. They got to make money. So it's all about the viewership and the broadcasting. So I don't think you can change this unless you change the viewership of these matches, which I don't think is possible because, the viewership is insane of these matches. I mean, it's like 10 times what Super Bowl is. Super Bowl is coming in a few weeks, right? And, the Pakistan India games is 10 times worth more than what a Super Bowl is. So they like to market it as such. They like to build some backstories to it. They like to add a bit of media hype, like, we're not going to put our names on the jerseys, right? So it creates, more of an appeal for that particular match, right? So to me, I think it's mostly all planned. It's all good media managing, marketing, whatever you call it, just to, brand this game out. So that's how they particularly do it. They may not put that entire game and say, hey, this is the face of the tournament, but in and around that match, there's always some banter going on, and a lot of people are covering it. There's a lot of some type of news coming out on both sides. So, there's always, that buildup, which I think, it's great for cricket, man. And, people get so involved emotionally on both sides of the border, right? India-Pakistan game, big match, and emotions are flying high. You want the team, both sides to, win, right? Whatever side you land on. But, so it's mostly just, that feeling that you get from the India-Pakistan game. And I know if you're not an Indian or if you're not a Pakistani, you may not understand that feeling. I fully get that, but yeah, I think the viewership is so huge that the business side of things, it's untouchable for them right now, unless the viewership just drops on these India-Pakistan matches. But India doesn't play Pakistan. They don't travel to Pakistan that much. Neither does Pakistan go to India that much or at all so these matches become the only time they play. That's another reason why they're hyped up so much and they make so much more money. Because they're not playing each other, and both sides, the fans want to see India-Pakistan cricket, bilateral series. They want to see test cricket. They want to see,
Why do they do that?
compete. They don't. I mean, there's politics involved, on both sides. So when politics is involved, you can't, really do much because you just get orders from the boards, right? From your governments gives the order to the boards, and the boards have to execute it. Indian government tells BCCI, hey, we're not going to Pakistan. So they're going to, tell them, no, we're not going to go. So essentially that's how it is. Whatever the government says has to kind of go within these systems, and it may not be like that in Australia, within the cricketing matters. Maybe the government just lets you guys do whatever. But I'm sure if there was a threat or something, Australia would let you know that, hey, don't.
Yeah, so they refused to go to Afghanistan, and then Afghanistan, Rashid Khan was gonna almost not play in the. Well, he didn't play in the BBL. Yeah, he went and played the SA. So FS20. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things though, where like I know safety of players has always been an issue. They've always had concerns traveling to Pakistan and Afghanistan and the Middle East, and they have to go for security this and security that, and I don't think anyone could say that it's a good idea to go drop a cricket team in Afghanistan. Like I think it's better to go play in Abu Dhabi or Dubai or whatever. Or we come up with this whole thing like we've been mentioning for weeks, having these tri-series or quad series where everyone meets at one location, whether it's going to be England or Australia. You all play there. You play in a tri-series. Kind of similar. I kind of like what the women is doing actually in Australia for their Ashes. They played 3 ODIs. They're going to play 2 T20s, and then they're going to play a test match. Yeah. And it's like that. Then they have like a total at the end of like who owns the trophy.
Why can't you have like 5 teams at once kind of come up to one country where you have access to 5 or 6 fields, and you let them have those kind of games like league games, and then the other 5 teams, you can send them in another country. You can have 2 separate kind of countries hosting, half games here, half games there, and half, they'll have essentially 6 teams in one place, 6 teams in another place, and you'll get those matches done. It just needs to be better organized, and and kind of given the rights to one country to host this thing, or 2 countries to host this entire model is a better way to go, I think.
Well, I think Australia and New Zealand is the perfect home. Like Australia's got the big 5 grounds. Those grounds aren't hosting anything during those time periods. They don't play rugby or rugby league on those big fields at those times. Plus, if you added New Zealand, then you have like Wellington and Christchurch. You have those stadiums in there too. You literally could send everyone down to Australia and New Zealand and have a huge thing. Everyone kind of rotates. Keep Australia on their rotation for their classic 5 tests: Perth, Gabba, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, and then everyone else can kind of go either in front or behind.
Exactly.
And there's plenty of stadiums there to get everything done. And then all of a sudden, the summer of cricket has been completed, and everyone's completed, at least 3 test matches. And that would be huge for cricket in Australia. Like,
and I think even the hosting rights, you can play it in such so the last cycle's 2 championship teams, get the hosting rights for the next cycle's, 10 matches. So like if India and Australia make the finals, for example, you have India host half the sides, and then you have Australia host half the sides. and then whoever ends up in their top of the table gets to host the final or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I think if you think about this, like, I know it's kind of also brings up the relegation and the two-tiered system for this champions,
I don't
test
think that's gonna
championship.
work. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I was against the two-tier system, but now I'm
Yeah.
sliding towards the two-tier if they're bringing in other associate nations. They're bringing in the USA, they're bringing in Canada, they're bringing in Netherlands, because then you have the relegation of everything. Because obviously you have to build up in the league too to qualify to make it into the big nations, right? So like Bangladesh made their way in, Zimbabwe made their way in, Afghanistan made their way in, right? So there's 2 slots missing on that end of the tier. If you were to consider West Indies would fall into the second tier, and England, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, India, Pakistan go in the other tier, right? So then in this tier, you would have a place for America or Canada or the Netherlands or the Nepal to then get themselves into that tier, right?
Absolutely.
And then the CWC League 2 is then they're trying to get the top, Scotland, Ireland, they're trying to get as high as they can so they can slip in and play West Indies. Like, I think this is a way that it can go, because it'll hurt the nations that fall into the tier 2, but it'll boost the nations that are trying to get up from the League 2 into the tier 2. So
yeah, absolutely. I think the 2 tiers, it can work, if you expand the number. So like, it can't be like you have top 10 teams and then you break them up into 5 and 5. You got to have a system where you have the top 10 teams play in their top division of the World Test Championship, and then the bottom teams from 11 to 20, for example, will play in Division 2 of the World Test Championship. And then you promote the top 2 teams from the bottom divisions to the next tier for the following cycle, and then you demote the bottom 2 teams from the top tier into the bottom division, right? So you make them earn their way back into the top tier, essentially. So I think it's a good way to think about it, but realistically, I don't know how they execute on this, because Test cricket requires a lot of time, and right now cricket is just going towards reduction of time instead of increasing time, right? So we're still seeing Test matches finish in 3 and 4 days, because of the lack of skill, first of all, and then the lack of concentration and ability. You saw that. I don't know if you saw the Pakistan West Indies test. It was a rank turner they put out in Multan. But again, back in the day when you saw these kind of pitches and saw these kind of services, the game still lasted almost close to full 5 days. Because the batters were able to bat out a lot of time on these tough surfaces, right? And we don't see that. We don't see the application in Test cricket. So we may be going in a direction where we don't have the talent pool to play long format cricket for 5 days. They may just reduce it to 4-day cricket because of the attention spans being shortened constantly through whatever is going on with this generation, right? So that's what it is, man. I think
well, yeah, I think in with that, it's a sport where if you were to reach the pinnacle of your sport, there isn't a huge payoff at the end. Like, okay, so you make it to Test match cricket, okay, like in 2024, in one of these smaller nations. You're going to play a handful of tests a year. You're going to be at the crease a handful of times. And the whole goal of the sport is, again, to stay out there as long as possible in this Test match format. And like I said, the game's moving away from staying out there all day. There isn't the spectacle of going out there and playing all day and getting the honor of getting your name put on the wall for scoring 100, like because it used to be like super prestigious. Like even over in Australia, when Boland took his big wickets, you get kick a 5 or get 100, your name goes on the wall. At Lords, you get to walk through the big the long room, your names are up on the wall with everyone. Like that, that part of the game, I think, is getting lost a little bit, especially in the other nations. Like, they don't have the prestige. Obviously, England holds the prestige, and we have the Ashes and the big rivalries, India, Pakistan. But I think for this longer format, especially as teaching a cricketer cricketing technique, that's kind of like the way that I was taught, was like to bat all day. that was how you were taught. You taught how to defend, like
Exactly.
Rahul Dravid, the wall,
Yeah.
defend, hit the bad ball, defend, hit the bad ball. But now
Right.
it's like hit the good ball, hit the good ball, hit the good ball, and also hit the bad ball, and it's just different.
It's the ability to switch from the formats, because players will come from T20 or ODI cricket into Test cricket and will still have the similar, mindset, or will have a tougher time switching over, to Test cricket because, they want to still play at that same pace as they may be playing in ODI cricket. And, I think it's also fair to say that the team's management and the way cricket has gone, they've tried to push the scoring rate where, they're pushing teams to, score 3+ and over in Test cricket nowadays, right? So, which is fine. But again, when you look at conditions, when you know that, hey, this is a pitch where you have to survive, scoring runs is tough, right? Back in the day, there were batsmen with such tough mindset and mentality that they can just go out there and survive for hours, without having to score 10 runs, because that was not the mindset. Mindset was to just bat out time, right? And I don't see that. I think that's also gone lost, right, over the period of time. But again, hopefully, it comes back and we see some more high quality players come through Test cricket. But let's go through some comments, man. Before we kind of get off a hinge here. So comments from Go Pack Joe. I'll believe that there's a new stadium when I see one shovel in the ground. Okay. Same guy. Next one. That's why Toronto is the best bet, especially if the GT20 is done like it looks. I think it's a good idea. They already have some type of an infrastructure, so it's probably definitely better suited for Canada to have one of those teams out of the next two spots. It's just who's going to be the other team, Chicago, Atlanta, or Philly. It's probably going to be a toss-up. I still think New York should be, given another team, but that's just me. So, we'll see. Let's go to the next comment. Do you think if Imran Khan was free, Pakistan cricket would have been in the top 3? No, I don't think so. Imran Khan
is free.
Yeah, the poor guy's still in jail. So hopefully Trump gets him out. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He's in American jail or he's in Pakistani jail?
No, he's in Pakistani jail.
Oh.
The other party threw him in jail. When they won the election, or they rigged the election, as they say.
Wait, what did he do? What did he do?
He didn't do it. He didn't do anything. He was just a opposition party leader. That's what he was. So they just did a bunch of things, just put him behind bars for nothing. But
classic Pakistan.
Classic, very classic. So the next comment. Let's keep on going with the comments. My predictions for Champions Trophy final. Pakistan versus Afghanistan. I think Afghanistan is a true dark horse in this tournament. Don't count them out.
They're solid, man.
Yeah, I think they're a solid bunch and gonna give a hard time to any team. And
Rashid Khan gets on. He gets on.
Oh yeah, big time. There's a cricket stadium being built for international cricket in Afghanistan. All right, that's cool, man.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Good for Afghanistan. I just hope that they also kind of get on board with the diversity and focus on women's cricket a little bit too, because we would like to obviously see that amid what's going on around the world. So so that's a couple of things there.
Cricket we're talking about. They fled the country.
Yeah. I mean, there's such talent there in the women's game. The women's game has such talent in Afghanistan, right? It's just the opportunities have just dried out for them due to the new power, new government in power and stuff like that. So just hope for things to work out for everybody. Over there, and ICC continues to support and provide good channels for growth in cricket and development, because we obviously want to see cricket all across the world, man, being enjoyed by everybody. So it shouldn't just be for one male or female or one or the other, but for everyone. So we got to grow it in that sense.
And all the nations. You got Malaysia. You got who was in this the under 19 women. Yeah. Back to that, they got Malaysia's in there, Samoa's in there. You got Nigeria.
You saw the Malaysian girl who took the first Malaysian wicket in the ICC tournament. She was crying It was just a
No, I
pop-up
didn't see
ball.
it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was
No,
a
I gotta
simple
check
pop-up
that out.
ball, and it was a spinner, and this girl just bowls a spin ball, and it was a popped up,
That's
and she took it
fantastic.
herself. It was really good to see because you wouldn't have seen that anywhere. But
Yeah.
that girl was it was her first wicket clearly, but for the country itself, for Malaysia. So
Yeah. No, but
that's
talking
big.
on this a bit about world cricket before we get to any more comments. If you've seen the European cricket,
yeah.
European cricket, they put out a lot of stuff. You got Italian, you got the Italians,
yeah.
Austrians. They have a pretty good league over there. Like they're getting
yeah.
into it. Like the quality obviously isn't super up there, but
Yeah.
some of the matches going down to the
They're
wire.
fun. They look fun.
They look very fun. Very fun. And like it's just like everyone is chipping in and playing cricket across the world. Like even you think about, like I said, Italy or Austria or Germany, like playing cricket, you're like, what? Like, but they're
I'd
playing
love
cricket.
to do a cricket tour like through Europe and through
Be
like
fantastic.
places where cricket's not really, as big as it could be, right? So
yeah. Well, like when I play, like I got to play cricket in Hong Kong. So they have a Hong Kong Super Sixes tournament in Hong Kong, and it's an ICC thing. It's basically like a country club, a cricket country club, where a bunch of guys in China or Hong Kong were like, hey, we like cricket. We're going to make this club. We're going to invite all the like captains and players from all the teams to come to a tournament every year. And 1 year I was on the invitational squad to go there for the Australian team. And we played against, like, I don't know if you remember the names, but everyone from, like, we played Pakistan, New Zealand, England, South Africa, and they all had ex-players, like ex-test players, ex-ODI players that were all in like their 40s, 50s that were playing. Because it was like an invitational. It was fun. But it was like cool to play against them.
Wow.
And like cricket's everywhere, man. Cricket's everywhere.
Everywhere, that was fun, man, and that's what we love to see. And I love to be.
It was a cool feeling. Like you're playing in between like the skyscrapers. You're like, it was up on this hill, and like it was looking over all the skyscrapers. It was cool.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. That's what it is. You get to go enjoy cricket in so many different places, and actually in my country, Pakistan, up north, there's a lot of great, cricket fields just in the middle of these mountains and these valleys where, I just want to go in and play. There's, I think, one near like one of the biggest ports they have, and it's probably one of the most beautiful cricket fields you'll ever see, and doesn't see any international cricket. So I definitely would love to, travel to these kind of places just to go check them out, because I think it'll be cool.
Traveling teams is where it's at. I think there should be a lot more in traveling side. Obviously, it costs a lot of money, but like instead of going on a holiday, you can go on a cricket vacation. Hook it up with connect with some local club sides. Get a tour bus of guys to go. 10, 15 guys, whatever. Yeah. Play local cricket, man.
Or if somebody wants to sponsor, I mean, we're sitting here,
get a bat.
We'll gladly take a trip for you guys.
We'll sell bats at the back of our bags. We'll just have bags full of bats.
Bags full of bats.
Bags full of bats. We'll sell bats. They'll buy our
absolutely bats. Man. So I wanted to look over a few squads, man, for Champions Trophy before we, call it for the night, because I know some teams have gone out and announced the squad. So let's talk about India's squad. Rohit Sharma is retained as captain.
Where's Kohli? Where's Kohli playing?
I think Kohli's still in that squad.
Kohli and Sharma still playing. Wow.
Bumrah has a back injury, but he's in that squad for the ODI series against England. And they're saying he's going to play the third ODI. And, if he proves his fitness, then he's going to be in the Champions Trophy squad. But I'm going to name out the squad right now for the India's squad for Champions Trophy. 2025, Rohit Sharma is retained as captain. Shubman Gill, vice captain. Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep Singh, Ishavi Jaiswal, Rishabh Pant, and Ravindra Jadeja. It's a pretty strong-looking squad, man. They've announced, for this England series and the Champions Trophy.
It's a B+ team.
Yeah, there could be a change or two in there, though, depending on how fit Jasprit Bumrah is, that's a big question mark right now. I believe in.
Yeah, the team obviously misses something. Like they go to number one with Boomer in the side, but we also got to see, like, is Coley and Sharma going to score any runs? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Are they going to score runs? Is Gill going to score runs? He didn't play very well in the Test series. Obviously, they think he's the best thing since sliced bread for the shorter formats of the game. So,
yeah,
are they going to score runs? I don't know. Obviously, like you say, does Pont play, or no? They've got a different. Pont will be in there.
Pant's in there. Yeah. Pant's
Okay.
in there. He's
yeah. Because I think
he's
like
part of their roster.
Yeah, like Pont and Jadeja, I think are like some of the, actually, you think about the keys to India there, like scoring some good runs. So yeah. Did Australia in their squad?
Yep, Australia squad I'm about to announce next. So Australia squad is Pat Cummins, captain Alex Carey, Nathan Ellis, Aaron Hardy, Josh Hazelwood, Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Marnus Labuschagne, Mitchell Marsh, Glenn Maxwell, Matthew Short, Stephen Smith, Mitchell Stark, Marcus Stoinis, and Adam Zampa.
Wow. Okay. So, I want to see Inglis bat. Obviously, Carey and Inglis both keep, but I can have Inglis batting. Yeah. I don't know if Mishmash. I don't know why they're going to do Mishmash there.
This is. I mean, playing in Pakistan and I feel like they're gone a spinner short here. I mean, I like Aaron Hardy. I mean, they have a Travis Head as well, and they have Adam Zampa, Glenn Maxwell. So they have some options there who can, roll the arm over, but still, I feel like there's still a spinner short here somewhere.
I think the 6-7 has to be. You have to take Stoinis over Mosh. That's the same spot. Like Mosh and Stoinis, the same person. Like I would rather have Short. I would rather have Short open. I would open with Short and Inglis open. I'd pick both of them, and then I'd roll into like Head. I don't know, Head sometimes opens or he comes down low down the order, but then why is Marnus there? I wouldn't have Marnus there. I would go Inglis. Yeah. I would go Inglis and Short opening, and then I'd go run into Head, and then
Aaron Hardy, I think, has to get in there too.
Hardy's in there, yeah. You said, is Smith picked or no?
Smith is in the lineup, yeah. I mean,
Smith's going to be up there. He's going to be up there.
Then you got Glenn Maxwell.
Maxwell's going to come in at 5, yeah. And then you're going to have to go to Stoinis. I'll drop Marsh. Yeah, they're the same person. Guys. Yeah, and then you're going to have to go with Stark, Hazelwood, Zamper, and there's one more spot, so you have to pick one more bowler. So, yeah. Yeah, but I'm big on Short. I love Short and Inglis. I think they're two great players.
You forgot Cummins too. So Cummins.
Oh, Cummins is the last bowler. Got it. Yeah. So that's the last bowler. So yeah, I mean, I want to see this order be Short, Inglis, Head, Smith, Maxwell, Stoinis. That's what I would pick. Yeah. I don't want Marnus in there at all. I don't know what he's doing there.
Yeah, Marnus, I'm not sure, but I think Mitchell Marsh has a role in here. He may get the first go over.
Maybe.
Over what's the other guy? Stoinis. Who knows?
Stoinis. This is the thing though. So like you got Mitch Moss, Daily M Player of the Year. What do they call it? The Daily M. He got the broader.
I know you're not a fan of Mitch Moss.
Wrong sport. Yeah. No, but it's like he's not in form. Yeah, he's not in form. Stoinis has been bashing it in the big bash, right? So
yeah,
yes, Marsh is a good player, but he's out of form. So you would. And the bowling, if you took Stoinis' bowling and Mitch Marsh's bowling, there's not much difference in their bowling. And Stoinis has been, even though I don't like either of them, Stoinis has been batting well in the Big Bash. So put him in. I think that's the better option, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good. Now let's go to South Africa's squad. Let's jump over there. So South Africa, Temba Bavuma, captain, Tony DeZorzi, Marco Janssen, Heinrich Claassen, Keshav Maharaj, Aiden Markram, David Miller, Vian Mulder, Lungi Ngidi, Heinrich Norche. I think Norche's out of the squad because he got hurt, I believe. So he's out.
Okay.
Kagiso Rabada, Ryan Rickleton, Tabriz Shamsi, Tristan Rossi Vender Dusen.
This is the Orcas team right here. Half the Orcas team plays with South Africa.
Yeah,
half the squad there.
Yeah, no De Kock. So I mean, did he retire from ODI cricket?
Yes.
I thought he was still playing white ball cricket.
He only plays T20s.
He only plays
T20s.
T20. I thought he
Yeah,
retired
he's-
from Test cricket, but not ODI. But
No,
okay.
he's just his T20s. I learned that fact too recently. No, he's a T20 guy. So yeah,
Oh,
no
okay.
big Orcas there. The Gleason. I'm lacking no Miller. Miller's not in there, right? You said no Miller.
No Miller. Yeah, thank
no
God, man.
Markram, no Miller.
Actually,
no
Miller's
Markram.
in here. No, Miller's in here. Miller's in here. Markram's in here. You know.
No,
Bishop
Rickleton.
Mirage.
Rickleton needs to be opening the batting. If he is not opening the batting,
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a South Africa tear on how terrible they are in chokers, whatever. No,
Man,
Rickleton needs to be opening the batting.
The opener's gonna be your favorite South African player, man. You know who that is?
Who? No,
Mr.
Markram?
Temba Bavuma.
Bavuma. I'm cool with him opening. Let's have him open and Rickleton. Rickleton needs to be opening the batting. Rickleton.
Yeah.
What's with the Bavuma? It's because I can't say it properly. Bavuma.
What are you gonna do with Tony DeZorzi then? You know, because you got DeZorzi and you got Bavuma. Bavuma's the captain, so you can't take out.
No,
you can't take out a captain.
No, captains
right?
don't open. Which captain opens? Name me one captain that opened the batting. None of them. Go down the order, buddy. Captains go down to 3-4.
Me. Right here.
Me. Captains
right
don't
here.
open the batting. Captains don't open the batting. Captains sit in the pavilion, and they put their pads on. They don't go out and bat.
God, man.
Think of Shamar. Shamar, what does he do? He's captain. He goes out there to bat. Combat. No, the captain don't open the batting. Send that Rickleton. Rickleton's on fire, man. Rickleton is fantastic.
Still gonna pick on Sharma, man.
Yeah, all day.
I like him. I like him. He's a good player. He's a super good player and got a bright future. And who else? What else? We got for the squad? We have
got a bright future.
Squad.
Did you say Sharma's a bright future?
No, I mean like I don't know what I was talking to. Maybe Sharma. I was looking at somebody's name here.
He's over there. You're like, oh, actually, like Sharma. He's got a bright future. I'm like, his future's over.
I was thinking about something else because I was looking on the screen over here, looking at Afghanistan squad. Right. So I think I met one of their players.
Yeah.
So Hashmatullah Shahidi's the captain.
Their opener. What's their opener's name? Babar something? What's his name? The opener there.
I don't know. Ramanullah Gurbaz, the wicketkeeper.
Yeah, Gurbaz. That's his name. He's good.
Gurbaz is good. Ramat Shah, vice captain. Ikram Ali Kil, wicketkeeper. Ibrahim Zadran, Sadiqullah Atal, Azmatullah Omarzai, Muhammad Nabi, Gulbadin Naib, Rashid Khan, AM Ganzafar, Nur Ahmed, Fazal Haq Faruqi, Naveed Zadran, and Farid Ahmad Malik. So that's their squad. Some new names there, man. I haven't seen some of these guys there, but I know they did replace their other left arm spinner. What's the guy's name? I forget. Mujib Rahman.
Okay.
Mujib, I think he's hurt. He's still recovering from a back stress spasm or something. So they brought in a like for like replacement for him. Yeah, but it's a pretty good squad.
Openers are very good. Their bowlers are very good. I think it's that middle order where it kind of gets shaky there. I'm a big fan of having Rashid Khan go up the order. I like him up the order. Rashid Khan is a legit all rounder. Like he can smash him.
He can
absolutely smash him.
Oh, he can smash him.
So I think if Afghanistan gets their 3-4-5 kind of like locked in a little better, I think they're a better squad. We saw like during the World Cup. I know it's T20s, but like that 3-4-5 kind of was once the openers kind of got out, they kind of faded a little bit because their openers on the T20s take 50% of their runs. They are really hard to get out those opening pairs. So, but no, they're a good squad. Good squad.
Yeah, sweet, man. Absolutely. Now let's get over to the New Zealand squad. Mitchell Santner, captain. Michael Bracewell, Mark Chapman, Devin Conway, Lockie Ferguson, Matt Henry, Tom Latham, Daryl Mitchell, Will O'Rourke, Glenn Phillips, Ruchin Ravindra, Ben Sears, Nathan Smith, Kane Williamson, and Will Young.
Nice.
I think it's a good looking squad too. Yeah, it's a good strong squad.
Bracewell, he plays for the Orcas also. Good quality there. They're a good side. Good side, you know. So and one of these things, everyone's in with a chance. There's no like big, you know, like expect to really get rolled or all the games should be fairly close. Everyone has a chance. Anyone can roll anyone on any day. It's one of those cool things about cricket right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then Bangladesh, I've got up here too. Najmal Saint Shanto, captain, Mushfiqur Rahim, Tawhid Haridoy, Shomwa Sharkar, Tanzid Hassan, Mamadullah Mamadullah, Jakar Ali, Mehdi Hassan Miraz, Rashad Hussain, Taskin Ahmed, Mustafizur Rahman, Pervez Hussain, Nasum Ahmed, Tanzim Hassan, and Nahid Rana. So even Bangladesh, man, I think this is their best format for Bangladesh. So, watch out for them too, because they've got a good, pace battery. They have good pacers, and I think they can also, do some major upsets here in this tournament. So I think the only team I have not announced is probably Pakistan and one other team, which I think they haven't announced. But I think I've gone over all the squads that have been announced so far for Champions Trophy. So any questions, if you guys have, drop them in the comments. We're just going to have a couple minutes here to close everything up. And yeah, come back to you guys next week with more.
Got a lot covered here tonight.
Yeah, good pod, man. A lot of comments, good engagement. Keep the engagement going, guys. Check out our membership sections. If you want to become part of our community, you can check it out on our YouTube membership page. And yeah, you can get different types of access there. So check those out. Check out the shop. Check out Adam. Adam's switching over to Instagram, and he's also coming up with some big news for you guys. Which we're gonna pop next week to you guys with more details. But check him out on Instagram. As we all knew, TikTok was banned for 10 hours or less than 10 hours. So Adam, we're
diverting, diversifying.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, we're diversifying.
I did start a Facebook account, which you'd be happy to know.
I saw finally. Thank God.
I'm there. I got a Facebook account. I got the Instagram going. I got YouTube going.
I was finally able to tag you as a co-host for this podcast tonight on Facebook. So
yeah,
there was, and this time 2 accounts showed up, and I was like, man, before there was not even 1, and now there's 2 Adam Bannons in here.
Now
so
we're available.
Yeah, so good changes on the setting there. That's perfect. And yeah, check those out. Help us support youth cricket. Our raffle is coming up on the 25th for our award ceremony. If you guys want to purchase, live raffles. Raffle tickets for the live raffle that's going to happen on the New Milford Cricket Club's award ceremony on the 25th. Shoot me a DM, and there's some nice prizes but I can send you the details on. So if anybody interested in that to support New Milford Cricket, that'd be great. And yeah, I think that's it. Adam, you got anything else, man, before we call it off?
It's a wrap right here. Let's go Team USA. They are probably batting right now. You might be able to see the score. If we check the toss, who's in bat, there would have been a couple of overs bowled. Then we ran over 9:30.
Let's see what we got.
England versus USA. I should put out one of those clips. Be like the Screaming Eagle. What is it? If USA beat England, it's going to be bigger defeat than the 1776. That was a fun. I had like an edit with like the cricket and the eagle and George Washington and everything.
All right, not a bad start for USA Women's. USA Women's are 16 for 1 right now.
Off how
3
many
overs? They're batting first. 3 overs.
Okay,
3 overs bowled. 16 for 1. Chetna Reddy is batting, and Isani Vagila is out there as well with her.
So dish go out.
Yeah, they both faced 4 balls. Each hit a boundary.
Nice.
And Isani just hit another 4 off the last ball of the last over. So
solid. Let's go Team USA.
Yeah, let's go Team USA. I think we put up 130, 140. Maybe even a little less. I think we compete against England right here. So go USA.
Even 120. Even 120s chase. Every 120s that's solid. 120, 120 to 130, 140.
Yeah. So just occupy the crease and occupy the time, and let's go USA. Women's under 19 team. Looking forward to a win here. Let's hope so. We're going to get to this match, and let us know in the comments if you guys have any questions or any ideas for the next week's pod, and we'll bring you guys, more details and updates. Adam, again, as always, man, wonderful pod. Until next week, Adam Bannon and Nabil Khan from the Reverse Scoop calling it a night. Have a good night, everyone.